Where are you now that I need you?
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing, as requested by quite a few of you, a nose contour video. I have just filmed my face contour, so if you want to see that, I will link it down below, or you can just click here, maybe here or here. Let's go here. Because I filmed that first of all because it was a bit too much to fit into one video, to the full face and the nose, and also I wanted to really show that one of before and after, as in side by side, and it's quite weird to contour half your nose, so I didn't want to do it that way. So I'm going to show you the before and after of my hand covered in contour, of before and after of my nose contour. So this is obviously before. I haven't done anything to it yet. I've just got all my makeup on apart from my nose contour. I feel like maybe I should zoom you in just a little bit, do you think? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to be doing it using exactly the same products I use on my face. These are my current favourites at the moment. So as I said, I've got nothing on my nose right now. That sounds so random, doesn't it? So I'm going to start with the cream using the Anastasia one. I still haven't taken the plastic off of this because, you know when you're like, you don't want to take the plastic off because it's so pretty underneath. Okay, so I use, to start with, a pretty small, this is almost like a lip brush. This is by NYX. I don't actually know if it is a lip brush. It doesn't have any number on it. It's just like a small, like a lip brush. Or you could use an eyebrow brush. You could totally use a angled eyebrow brush. Anything small like this. Because for this first bit, we want to be really, really precise. So the shade I use from the palette is Light Sculpt, I think. Yep, which is this middle shade here. So it's called Light Sculpt. And basically, first of all, it's a difficult one to film because obviously everyone's nose is different. So if I tell you about my nose, I want it to be narrower, and also my tip here just like hangs down a little bit. So I just want to kind of almost give the emphasis that that's going to be raised, if that makes sense. And then just bring it in. I don't want to emphasize my tip because I don't like the tip of my nose. I think it's a little bit bulbous. But obviously if you've got a wide nose, you want to narrow it. If you've got a bump, you need to avoid the bump, if that makes sense. So starting off with the bridge part of your nose, as you can see, my bridge is actually straight, but I just want to narrow it slightly. So I don't want to draw my lines on my nose, like where the natural shadow is there that you can see. I want to draw it slightly narrower to make it appear narrower. If you've got a bump this way on your nose, you obviously want to draw straight over the bump. You don't want to follow the line of the bump because obviously you're just emphasizing the bump. So just straight over, and again, narrower. I see so many people contour their nose and they literally just draw two lines down the side of their nose like this because they think that's what you do. And it is what you do. If you follow the natural shape of your nose, you're not contouring your nose to make it look different. You're just emphasizing the nose you have, which is totally fine if you love your nose. If you don't and you want to make small changes, then you're just emphasizing stuff you don't like, which is probably why you don't like how it comes out. So I draw mine slightly narrower. So let's do that bit first, so then I can talk about the next bit. So just taking some of that product, I just get rid of some of the excess on my hand, and then you're drawing your line. You're kind of following, if you see your eyebrows there, so like that. And then you can see I've joined it to my eyebrow. And then I just bring it to, as you can see, like where the tip kind of starts. And then when I get to the tips, you can see I've taken that to not the end of my nose. You can, if you want, just draw lines straight down your nose. But because my nose, I feel, is a bit long and hangs down, if I do that, it's going to emphasize that length. So at this point, we want to kind of almost cut it off. So I go like this. So this is good for you if you, as I said, you feel like your nose is a bit bulbous at the end and you don't like the sort of width of this bit. Remember with the cream, we're just sort of putting in the foundations almost of the contour. And then for the tip, as I said, mine's long. I don't like it being long. So I draw like a little V. You can see I've got like a little dent here. So I kind of follow that V like that. So can you see how, obviously we haven't blended it, but you can tell by the shape that that's made my nose look like smaller and cuter. If your bit here it's not long. If your bit here is long, then obviously don't do this bit, yeah? But if it is, then this is a really good tip. You want to sort of lift the nose, which is what I want to do. I'm trying to think what else your problem could be. If your end's even bigger, then you can obviously bring this a bit higher to lift it higher. If you feel like you don't need to lift it, but it's just quite bulbous on top, you can draw a line straight across the top to sort of reduce it and make it dent in almost. It's quite good to do this face, because you can see that where you want to put it. Okay, so that is it for the dark contour, and then taking out a separate brush, similar, this is just a concealer brush, and I'm taking the banana shade, which is this light yellow shade here. Again, just take some excess off on your hands. You can kind of use your hand as a palette, as you can see, that is what I do, just so you know you're not putting too much product on. And then with this, you're going to draw a really thin line down the centre of your nose. This is just going to emphasise and lift that bit up. But I only take it down to there, because you don't want to, as I said, with my nose, I obviously don't want to emphasise the tip. So I don't want to highlight that tip right now. See, I have to be careful with my nose, because here, this bit right here, I've got like a, it's not like a dent you can see physically, but when you put product in it, I've got like a little dent in it. So the product can easily get in it and emphasise the dent, even though you can't see it without contour on. If I put the contour in the wrong place, you will see it. So I have to be careful in that area. And the same if you've got any kind of bump on your nose, you need to be careful. So that is it for the cream contour part for now. You just want to take a damp beauty blender, and all we're going to be doing is pouncing over this very lightly. This is just going to soften the edges. This product, the Anastasia contour kit, is so easy to blend. With the lines up here, I like to take, this is a Real Techniques Duo Fibre shadow brush, to just blend them into the eyeshadow and just that brow bone bit there. I really like this bit to be pretty contoured, but with this brush it just makes it a bit more easier to get in. A bit more easier, I don't think that's English. Okay, so now we have our base for the contour. So then I'm going to go over it with a powder contour, and using the Anastasia kit again, and this light middle shade on this same Real Techniques Duo Fibre brush. This brush is really good for nose contour because it blends really well. So just take some of that product, tapping off the excess, and you're just going to go over those lines. Really, you can see I'm holding it really high up, and I'm pressing really lightly, just basically exactly the same position you just went. It's really important to use a cool shade when you're doing any type of contouring, but you guys probably already know that. But obviously, if I was doing this with a bronze, like normal bronzer shade, then I would have a super brown nose right now. It's important to keep checking it from the side as well and make sure it's like blending, you don't have any weird, like literally brown lines coming out of your face. As you can probably tell, I concentrate most of my energy on the tip of my nose. And then I go in with the banana shade from the powder kit, and I just run this down the centre of the nose. And again, I don't take this all the way down. I go back into the brush I used to set under my eyes and back into that banana shade, and you really want to make sure that this light banana shade goes pretty high up your nose, so you're kind of masking your natural shadow. Okay, and then last step is to highlight the nose with the natural highlighting powder to match the glow on your cheeks. This again is totally optional, but I really love doing this at the moment. So I take a small brush and a little bit of, this is the So Hollywood Anastasia highlight, and just while you're brushing it, tap off the excess. You have to be really careful where you put this, because if you put this in the wrong place, it's going to emphasise the tip. So, can you see that natural highlight? So I'm trying to look in the viewfinder. Can you see it just there? But you can see it's there and it kind of goes low. You don't want to put it low, you want to put it high. So just like a tiny bit higher than it naturally sits. And then just blend it out with your finger. And then a tiny bit on the bridge. And that is how I currently contour my schnozzle wazzle wazzle. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you've had some tips in this. I don't feel like I do it that different. It really is just looking at your nose and deciding what you don't like, what you do like. So what you don't like, you want to hide, so you want to shadow it. And what you do like, you want to highlight, so you want to highlight it. If you want to bring your nose forward and out, thinner out, then you want to obviously highlight the bridge, and you want to narrow the sides. You want to shadow the sides. If you don't like your tip or it's hanging low like mine, you want to shadow underneath and highlight the top to just lift it up a tiny bit. I hope this makes sense, guys. If you've got any questions at all, leave them in the comments bar down below, but hopefully you can see the difference. So that's the end of this video, guys. Don't forget to check out the face contour if you haven't seen it already, but I'm sure you have. I don't think I've got anything else left to say. Nope. So I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.
Where are you now that I need you?